President Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping will hold their first in-person meeting in Bali on Monday ahead of the Group of 20 or G20 Summit. The White House is expecting the leaders to hit on some hot-button issues, such as China's actions in Taiwan and, of course, the war in Ukraine. Yahoo Finance senior columnist Rick Newman joins us. Rick, a lot on the table here and high stakes indeed.
Yeah, and this has changed quite a lot. If this meeting were happening a year ago, you might say the top three issues might be climate action, human rights, and what to do about the Trump tariffs. But I think those are now lower on the list. And of course, there's a lot to talk about with all this hostility between China and Taiwan, which has heated up during recent months. The extent of China's support for Russia amid the Ukraine war is a big deal. China is not exactly a Russian ally in that war, but they are helping by buying Russian oil and sending Russia some goods they can't get anyplace else. And then, of course, economic competition. President Biden really escalated economic competition with China in October with this new set of rules that prohibit the import to China of advanced American semiconductors and also prohibit just American companies even consulting with Chinese companies or allowing their people to work with them or for them. That was considered a really major escalatory move. China could retaliate on that. So this is what they're going to be talking about. And the White House has basically said, this is going to be a conversation. We're not going to resolve anything, most likely, but we're going to put these issues on the table.
Yeah, Rick, I guess to that point, then, the expectations headed into this meeting, is this more just to lay the groundwork for a potential relationship or potential agreements that we could see over the next 2 years during Biden's presidency?
I'm not aware of any actual agreements that the White House is aiming to get. So, if we go back to that ban on advanced semiconductors going to China, that's not a negotiation. That is where the White House said, we're implementing this new policy and we're doing it immediately. So there certainly are areas of competition. I mean, where they could have conversations about cooperation. I think climate action is a big one. There could be some talk about this U.S.-led plan to impose a price cap on Russian oil. China is not expected to go along with that. The Treasury Department, which is leading that effort, says we don't think China will go along with it. But maybe there will be some behind-the-scenes way that China could help with that, and maybe Washington hasn't asked for that, and maybe they have something they can ask in return. Broadly speaking, I think even though there's fairly intense competition between the United States and China, it's important for the two leaders to speak and to meet. Biden has talked about how much time he has already spent with Xi Jinping, so they do know each other. But it's important that they know each other when they're both the leaders of their country. So that's a part of what this is all about.
Certainly, two leaders of the two biggest economies in the world. I know we'll be paying attention. Thanks for following along, Rick Newman, for us.
Hi, guys.